When I arrived this afternoon and I did what I think is called a run-through, they said, whatever you do, don't bounce, sway, or tap. But I don't think they'd heard Baba Mal. Thank you, Baba Mal. It's wonderful to open our forum with art of such beauty and intensity, produced by someone who manages alongside what you've just heard to do a host of really very impressive things, amongst them being a UN envoy for the Millennium Development Goals and a UNDP youth envoy. Thank you. And good evening, and welcome to Oxford. Welcome back to those of you who've been to this amazing event before. To those of you missing the Sheldonian, that peculiar sensation in your legs is your blood circulating. Welcome, friends. It's my great delight to welcome you to the 2011 Skoll World Forum. Our theme this year is large-scale change. And this will mean many things this week. And it's one of the glories of your event that we don't yet know all the things that it'll mean. It'll take us into discussions of large abstractions and larger challenges, very specific questions and highly detailed answers. We will, in panels and conversations, formal and informal dealings, all be engaged in trying to inch forward our views of the change we want. I think, though, that there are some things we already know about large-scale change. We know that the change we're talking about is intentional. It's what we want to cause to happen. We know that it's positive. It's how we want to improve the world. And we know that it's important. It's changing things that must be changed in order for our planet and its inhabitants to coexist and survive. We know that it's by ensuring that we're clear on the questions that we find answers. And we know that knowing how to measure the answers will tell us if they're right or not. And that's a big agenda, and it explains why your program ranges from brain and biodiversity to finance and leadership, from innovation to heroism and design. The world is everything that is the case, wrote the philosopher Wittgenstein almost a century ago. This week, for you, social change is everything that is the case. In a place like Oxford, simple things are complicated. For those of you who don't work here, this is a good thing. We make ideas like justice, equality, health, nutrition, immunity, government, happiness, truth, very, very complicated. And this is good. This is good because the world is abundantly, fantastically, prodigiously complex. And we can't always yet imagine what our responses to this complexity ought to be. And the scope for the not yet imagined is vast. And sometimes this is upsetting or chastening, as it was this month in Japan, as it was in Haiti, as it continues to be in Libya. Sometimes, though, the not yet imagined is the reason we rejoice in complexity, in unpredictability, in the peculiar power of our networks and our imaginations. And here in Oxford, there are people working on the most important questions of our age: energy, pollution, health, disease, on the origins of life and the origins of the universe, on the meaning of meaning, and on the massively various manifestations of culture. And this week, it is your privilege to join those people to work on hard problems. However, in Oxford there is always a however. Not all problems are hard. As Slavoj Žižek wrote recently about WikiLeaks, we can no longer pretend we don't know what everyone knows we know. And we need to know in public what we know in private. And your forum is the means for you to demonstrate what we know. In private, I think we know that the world is connected. Nothing that happens here will leave those elsewhere unaffected. Time has been called on business as usual. The big challenges are urgent. Single agency solutions are inadequate. Governments, aid agencies, businesses, individuals cannot meet those threats alone. Solutions require collaboration, and they require cash. Science, technology, information, measurement are all critical components of necessary solutions. Both success and failure are vital teachers. We know all this, but we continue to behave as nations, companies, individuals, as if we didn't. And we're here at Skoll to change the tone of this global conversation, to create new news, and to make sustainable humanity. We've had Wittgenstein once already this evening, and in a much mellower mood, that gnomic philosopher also said, if what we do now makes no difference in the end, then all seriousness of life is done away with. We're very lucky that Jeff Skoll contributes meaningfully to serious solutions. He's the reason we're here, and he requires no introduction from me. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Skoll.